You know, folks, we have a lot of fun here talking about some of the horrible things the president says on camera. But it's not fair to single him out, okay? A lot of people say terrible things. And by a lot of people, I mean Tucker Carlson.
La noticia mediática estrella de esta semana llegaba este lunes cuando, con escasos minutos de diferencia, en Estados Unidos se comentaban dos ceses. Por un lado, la cadena Fox News prescindía del señor Tucker Carlson, presentador de unos programas de opinión más vistos del país y, por supuesto, conservador. Y al poco tiempo, la cadena CNN anunciaba que prescindía de uno de sus comentaristas estrella, el señor Don Lemon, de ideología progresista. Dos figuras viejas conocidas de la mediática del buitre para los que nos sigan desde hace tiempo.
Our leaders demand that you shut up and accept this. We have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor, they tell us, even if it makes our own country poorer and dirtier and more divided.
I don't know where his people come from, but dirtier? Is he really talking about human beings that way? Let's bring in Don Lemon. I don't ordinarily play hateful speech on the show, but it's important for people to see what someone's trying to pass off as news.
The studies show that immigration has and continues to make this country a better, stronger, more productive and vibrant country. That's why.
Hay que decir que el señor Tucker Carlson, antes de ser la estrella de Fox News, fue estrella, entre comillas, de la CNN, porque la CNN, antes de 2004, no era, digamos, la cadena pro Partido Demócrata que parece ser ahora. Buscaba tener más transversalidad frente a la MSNBC, que sí buscaba ser más afín al Partido Demócrata, y el señor Tucker Carlson llegó a tener un programa ya, donde era célebre por su pajarita. Hubo importantes sectores progresistas que nunca vieron bien que el señor Carlson estuviera en la CNN, y el momento más recordado fue la humillación de la que fue víctima el señor Carlson por parte del señor Stewart, que viene a ser una especie de Gran Wyoming en Estados Unidos, pero con mucho más poder que el que ha tenido nunca el Gran Wyoming en España.
Welcome back to Crossfire. We're talking to Jon Stewart, who was just lecturing us on our moral inferiority. John, you're bumming us out. Tell us, what do you think of the Bill O'Reilly vibrator story?
No. I'm sorry? I don't. I'm here to confront you because we need help from the media, and they're hurting us. I made a special effort to come on the show today because I have mentioned this show as being bad. It's not so much that it's bad as it's hurting America. So I wanted to come here today and say...
Wait.
Here's just what I wanted to tell you guys.
Yeah.
Stop. Stop hurting America. Okay. I watch your show every day, and it kills me.
I can tell you love it.
It's so painful to watch. Your partisan, what do you call it, hacks.
Wait, John,
you have a responsibility to the public discourse. And you fail miserably.
I think you're a good comedian. I think your lectures are boring.
You're on CNN. The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls. What is wrong with you? It's someone who watches your show and cannot take it anymore. I just can't.
You fail
miserably.
I think.
You need to go to one. Now, this is theater. I mean, it's obvious. How old are you?
35.
And you wear a bow tie.
Yeah, I do.
I
do think you're more fun on your show. Just my opinion.
But
okay, Jon Stewart goes one-on-one with his fans.
You're as big a dick on your show as you are on any show.
Cuando cae el fundador de Fox News, el señor Ailes, y cae también el señor O'Reilly por motivos muy parecidos, Fox News tuvo que iniciar una etapa post-Roger Ailes con nuevas estrellas, aunque sigue por ahí el señor Hannity, no nos olvidemos, potenciando a figuras como la señora Ingraham y sobre todo al señor Tucker Carlson, que era la principal estrella post-Ailes.
Imagine a world where you are punished for questioning the behavior of the president or for insulting your local mayor. You probably can't imagine that. It's too bizarre. It's un-American. But that's where we are right now. Black Lives Matter has changed the rules. And here's their first new rule: no criticizing Black Lives Matter. You can be fired from your job if you disobey. Many Americans have been. On Friday, for example, the principal of a public school in Windsor, Vermont, was dismissed from her job for posting the following words on her personal Facebook page, quote, "While I understand the urgency to feel compelled to advocate for black lives, what about our fellow law enforcement? Just because I don't walk around with a BLM sign should not mean I'm a racist, end quote. Unfortunately, the principal's boss disagreed. Also on Friday, an economist called Harold Uhlig lost his job at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago for daring to offer even milder criticism than that. On Twitter, Uhlig noted that Black Lives Matter had, quote, just torpedoed itself with its full-fledged support of hashtag defund the police. That was a racist statement, the Federal Reserve concluded, so they fired Harold Uhlig. We could give you many other examples of the same thing happening.
Siempre políticamente incorrecto, y digamos que en no pocas ocasiones sus opiniones escandalizaban a los sectores progresistas norteamericanos.
A lot of Americans also think that women making more money in the workplace is a good thing, but Tucker Carlson kind of said he didn't think so. Take a look.
Study after study has shown that when men make less than women, women generally don't want to marry them. Now, maybe they should want to marry them, but they don't. Over big populations, this causes a drop in marriage, a spike in out-of-wedlock births, and all the familiar disasters that inevitably follow. More drug and alcohol abuse, higher incarceration rates, fewer families formed in the next generation.
It's like, it reminds me of when they blame women for pregnancy, as if he had nothing to do with it. She's pregnant because of her, not him.
There's a woman in the audience, she's like, what? We're not there.
Los que pensaran como él, como el señor Don César Vidal, dirán que era alguien verdaderamente independiente. Lo que quieren decir es que es alguien que pensaba como ellos en Estados Unidos.
CNN has consistently told you that walls don't work. Only racists and dumb people think they do. They're useless pieces of obsolete technology. They're bigoted. But recently, the mostly peaceful protests in Atlanta threatened CNN's headquarters. The mob came right through the windows. So how did CNN keep these mostly peaceful protesters out? By putting up a border fence, of course. Tammy Bruce hosts Get Tammy Bruce on Fox Nation. She joins us now. Tammy, what do you make of this?
Well, obviously the epitome of hypocrisy, but really it also exposes the fact that at least they've been consistent. In January 21st of 2017, they had a Twitter with all caps, build bridges, not walls.
Se le ha acusado de ser antivacunas, se le ha acusado de ser pro-Putin, pero quizá lo que más haya pesado es que ha causado unas cuantas condenas a la cadena Fox News, perdiendo juicios frente a aquellos que le acusaban de difamación, y digamos que en el Partido Demócrata, en el gobierno, no caía demasiado bien, especialmente al jefe de la mayoría demócrata en el Senado.
I don't think I've ever seen a primetime cable news anchor manipulate his viewers the way Mr. Carlson did last night. I don't think I've ever seen an anchor treat the American people and American democracy with such disdain.
No sabemos si el señor senador demócrata estará muy contento con su despido. Quien no ha disimulado nada su alegría han sido los del programa The View, que es el programa de la cadena ABC, del grupo Disney, de tendencia progresista, que conduce la señora Whoopi Goldberg.
Welcome back. Word has just come down that Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. They thank him for his service to the network and husband of prior contributor. Wave.
También se veía muy contenta la señora Navarro.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but we wanted to make sure that we let you know what was going on.
Well, can I ask the audience if they'll help me do something? Come on, folks. Na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. Na 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 na.
Y luego la señora Hostin venía a decir que aunque no estaba bien alegrarse de que despidieran a alguien, que entendía que el señor Carlson había degradado tanto la democracia que sí podía alegrarse de ello.
I don't think anyone likes to celebrate the demise of someone's career, but he is responsible for the demise of someone's career.
Yeah.
But he is responsible for the degradation that we see somewhat of our democracy in this country.
Si en el caso de la salida del señor Carlson la cosa ha sido relativamente sorprendente, en el caso del señor Don Lemon ya se veía venir porque ya había tiempo que había sido movido de su franja horaria.
This is what I think. I think that this is going to sound weird, but every year I have hydrangeas in my yard and they come back a different color. or a tulip or an orchid. And it's not because they're different, it's because the soil is different, right? It depends on the nutrients in the soil. So if you grew up in America, you came out of American soil, considering the history of this country, then I think we should start changing the thinking here. And how can you not be racist? How can you not have racial blind spots? How can you not see that the factory reset in America is whiteness?
Cuando la Fox News ganó la batalla entre la lucha por las cadenas 24 horas de noticias, la CNN consideró que uno de los motivos es porque no tenía suficiente opinión. Y por eso el señor Zucker, cuando presidía la CNN, fichó al señor Don Lemon para que hiciera un programa de opinión progresista y con cierta frecuencia victimista.
Everything favors you. So it's just that easy. And he doesn't know, or they don't want to know, because they are what? They are benefiting from systemic racism.
Probablemente el señor Don Lemon y el señor Cuomo fueron los dos grandes detractores del presidente Trump en los programas de opinión de la CNN. Hoy, por motivos diferentes, los dos están fuera.
Donald Trump couldn't find Ukraine on a map if you had the letter U and a picture of an actual physical crane next to it. He knows that this is, an administration defined by ignorance of the world. And so that's partly him playing to their base and playing to their audience, the credulous boomer Rube demo that backs Donald Trump, that wants to think that Donald Trump's a smart one and y'all elitists.
You saw Don Lemon this past week and the laughing basically at Trump supporters, smelly Trump Walmart shoppers, irredeemable deplorables, Americans. There's a comment Obama made, bitter Americans that cling to their God, their Bibles, and religion. Seems like there's a contempt for people that don't share their worldview.
So I watched this guy. He's terrible, not
Don
smart.
Lemon.
He's not a smart person at all. But I watched that phony laugh. That wasn't a laugh. He was trying to act, puts his head down. Oh, he's laughing so hard. There was nothing funny about what was said.
Well, you elitist with your geography and your maps and your spelling, even though my
your math and your reading.
Yeah, you're reading. Your geography, knowing other countries.
But I watched that phony laugh. That wasn't a laugh. He was trying to act, puts his head down. Oh, he's laughing so hard. There was nothing funny about what was said.
El último escándalo del señor Don Lemon fue decir que las mujeres de más de 50 años ya no eran apetecibles, estilo señor Dragó.
So he tweeted this late on Friday night. He said, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. Well, unlike this president who lashes out wildly at anyone who criticizes him, I have pretty thick skin. And LeBron James, in addition to being a brilliant black man, a superstar in his sport and a hero to his community, is taking the high road, which is exactly where he belongs. So since he spews so many insults so often, the president has called a lot of people stupid. Some of those people are white. But I would just like to note that referring to African Americans as dumb, remember this is America, referring to African Americans as dumb is one of the oldest canards of America's racist past.
No tiene pinta ni que la cadena CNN ni que la cadena Fox News vayan a cambiar demasiado su línea editorial porque salgan dos de sus estrellas. Queda saber si quizá intente liderar su propio proyecto mediático. Pero hay que recordar que cuando el señor Glenn Beck también estaba en lo alto en la Fox News y también salió, en mi opinión, en una situación con cierto paralelismo a la del señor Carlson.
Now we have it in Washington. That's the Washington one. Rahm Emanuel, Barack Obama. Two lovers sitting in a tree. Beating. What is it that Barack Obama promised on the campaign trail? Oh, yeah, that's right, I remember. A new kind of politics. Well, America didn't think the new politics would be even worse than the old politics, but here's what the new politics is. You don't agree with the administration? Well, I tell you what I'm saying? You want to stand in the way of reform? No longer is it a gentleman's disagreement that can be debated. No. You're going to play ball, or you're going to get a beat down.
Quiso montar su propio canal de televisión propio. Y aunque haya sido haciendo sus programas y sus cosas, el señor Glenn Beck diría que nunca ha tenido la fuerza que tuvo cuando estuvo en Fox News.
You really want to understand? You want to hear the other
Why
side?
can't our
Then
viewers?
let's have a conversation where
why can't you
everybody's
tell
not
our
interested.
viewers right now?
Because it's all about ratings. Because this is all about ratings. This isn't about ratings. This is about saving our country, bringing us together. Stop dividing us. I mean, I can't.
So to be clear, you think that I'm dividing the
listening
country?
to?
You think I'm dividing the country for ratings by booking you?
Brian, stop. Look at what you're doing. When did this become about you? This is about the media and the administration. That's what you guys want to make it into.
If it was about me, I would do like a
I can
10-minute
talk
commentary
about
the way you used to. If it was about me, I'd get out a blackboard the way you used to.
Okay. Well, then maybe you should.
I mean, the point is, what do you mean is making it about me? I don't see how I've made it about me. I want to know how.
It's not about it. You just said, never mind. Look, Brian, if you want to have a conversation, the media really wants to know, great, we can have that conversation. But every time I've approached, everybody always says yes. But as soon as it gets tough or uncomfortable, nobody's interested.
And we've talked about that before. I completely agree with you. And we all do need to be more self-reflective. I do have to ask you, there's this new headline on the Daily Beast saying that your company's in trouble, that you were trying to find a buyer. Is this related to the point about people not talking to each other? That if you want to create that media company, there's not interest? What's going on with that?
Wow. Brian, thanks a lot. I think that's the most ridiculous question I've ever heard. I'm sitting here ready to talk to you about the detaining of children and parents and trying to break families apart, something that has been happening with Janet Reno. That's why it went to the Supreme Court in the first place. With Janet Reno, it's been happening. We want to stop it, and you want to play those games? Have a nice day.
What game did I just play?
El señor Tucker Carlson tenía una audiencia millonaria, casi 3 millones de americanos le escuchaban a diario. La pregunta es, ¿cuántos de estos estarían dispuestos a acompañarle si creara un proyecto mediático propio? Y es de suponer que si Fox News ha podido sobrevivir a perder figuras como el señor Bill O'Reilly o el señor Glenn Beck, pensará que pueden sobrevivir a perder al señor Tucker Carlson. Pero tampoco es menos cierto que si hubiera ahora algún tipo de empresario mediático televisivo que quisiera crear su propia cadena conservadora para competir con Fox por ese nicho, es evidente que su primer paso sería fichar al señor Tucker Carlson.
And by the way, that idea forms the basis of the Christian faith. It's the entire premise behind our founding documents. And yet suddenly, thanks to Black Lives Matter, you can no longer say it out loud. Affirming the fundamental equality of all people is now considered hate speech.